welcome. Today is a different topic. We're doing English. I know many of you follow me for teaching English too, right? Some of you might follow me for traveling, singing, teaching languages, right? Amazigh in Morocco. Um, but yeah, today we're doing English and an English quiz, right? Like asking you questions and see if you can figure out the correct answer. So before I get started, let me go ahead and share this in my groups. One second. Okay, and one more. Give me a second, guys. I'm sharing to Instagram now. First to Facebook, now Instagram. All right, we're all set. All right, well, welcome once again. How are you guys doing today? All right. So I'll wait for you guys to come on in. Give me a moment as well. Okay. Welcome, 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 welcome. We're just starting. Hello. We're going to do English today because Monday I'll be starting my group classes. So you can pay if you want to do more in-depth and a little bit more, smaller group sessions and where we can actually talk. But yeah, up to 10 students. So you can do one class at a time for 5 weeks every Monday night in Morocco time. Or you can do all 5 sessions. Hello, how are you? But yeah, so that's why I'm doing English today too. And we'll see how it goes. I finally decided to get it going. It gets a bit hard, of course, traveling and working with my other job as well, but wanting to offer that. So make sure you follow me on Facebook if you don't already. That's where I'll have all the information. It's Tricia Truth again. Hello. Hi, guys. So, how do you guys feel about your English level? Are you learning English? Are you at the beginner, intermediate, advanced, proficient level? So I am a certified teacher, if you don't already know that, but I actually have my master's degree in teaching. My bachelor's degree is in sociology with anthropology, but my master's degree is in teaching. Hello. Thank you, Yassine. That's very nice. Tashlahid, imikimik tamazir. But today we're doing English though, so if you want to learn some English, we're doing English. We're gonna do a quiz. So that means I'm gonna ask you guys questions, okay? So I'll do a couple and give you the answer so you get an idea. So it's all about making inferences. What does it mean to make an inference? So it means to kind of like guess something by gathering some other information. They don't directly tell you what's happening, but you're figuring out with some context, right? All right, so read the sentence. It says, Scott rose from the couch and took a deep breath, stretching his arms overhead like a cat. All right, so inferencing. Based on this sentence, how is Scott probably feeling? So we're guessing, right? We're guessing how he probably feels. Do you think he feels content? Like, good, I'm happy, I'm chill, right? Or do you think he's excited? Like, ooh, yay! What do you guys think? What can you infer from this sentence? Scott rose from the couch and took a deep breath, stretching his arms overhead like a cat. Do you think he's probably feeling content or excited? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You said, I think it's good enough if it's combined with some confidence. Ah, yep. So maybe some grammar there too, right? For sure. Grammar is so important. Obviously, like, I think sometimes people can still understand. It depends on if they're used to communicating with people from different countries or cultures, right? Um, I think people do find it easier that way. Or if it's like speaking, obviously, I find that people who have traveled already or they're used to speaking to a diverse crowd, they find it easier. But maybe if they haven't traveled or they don't have that diverse experience, they might have some difficulty. But yeah, in general, I would say most people, I think, would still understand, even if there's some grammatical errors. However, there might be, if they're a good communicator, there would be some clarification, like, oh, did you mean this or this, or right? But yeah, I mean, so there is no confusion, right? Grammar is really important. Cozy feeling. Okay, but so which one is correct? Content or excited? So this is where vocabulary is important, right? Hey, Britta, I'm doing well. How are you? We're doing English today. Okay, so again, one more time, I'll ask the question. So, based on this sentence, how is Scott probably feeling? Content or excited? Scott rose from the couch. He took a deep breath. I'm yawning. He took a deep breath, stretching his arms overhead like a cat. One more time. Scott rose from the couch and took a deep breath, stretching his arms overhead like a cat. Do you think he's probably feeling content or excited? So again, you need to know what those words mean, right? Content. What does content mean? Like you're happy, you're good, you're chill. I'm cool, right? Or I'm excited. Ah! Right? Like usually if you're excited, you have a bit more energy, right? So do you think he's chill or energetic? Those could be two other words that you might replace with content or excited. Okay, so I'll give you guys that one. So I would say he is content, right? So the way that I understand that is being content. He's just chill. He's on the sofa. He's stretching. There's no talk of anything wrong, right? I wouldn't say that he's excited because he's not like they didn't say he's like jumping up and down or like saying any kind of exclamation, right? So, want to learn who? What? Okay, so let me do another one. Here's the number 2. Read the sentences. Of course, Terrence said quickly. Just tell me the time and I'll be there. Based on these sentences, how is Terrence probably feeling? Eager or grouchy? Okay, here's where vocabulary is important. You need to know what eager means and grouchy. Okay, so let me help you guys with this one. So eager means like, I can't wait. Like, I'm excited, right? I can't wait. Grouchy means mm, like not in a good mood, right? So do you think he's in a good mood or not? Do you think he's excited or not? So indeed, he would be eager, right? Because he said, of course, I'm ready, right? Of course, it's an agreement, right? Or a positive exclamation, right? Of course, Terrence said quickly. Quickly, also, right? Not like he thought about it, right? Quickly. Of course. Just tell me the time and I'll be there, right? So he's excited. He's eager. He's ready to go. He's not grouchy. Grouchy means like he's in a bad mood. He's not happy, right? So we can tell from those two sentences that he's eager. Eager. So if you guys want to, while we're going through these, you can write down any new words for you and their meaning. That might be helpful. I know at the place that I teach more often online, it does say that students who take notes do better, at least with our organization, they do better than students who don't take notes, right? So I feel like a lot of us already knew that. I think it's helpful, even if you have a really good memory, and even if you listen very well, right? We can't remember everything. We can't, unless you are very gifted. So yeah, I always suggest taking notes. Okay, yeah, the first one was content. Second one was eager. And I realized there may be a delay here too, but okay, let me do another one with you guys. So read the sentence. Kristen's whole body was shaking, and her voice grew louder with every word. Based on this sentence, how is Kristen probably feeling? Do you think she's bored or angry? What do you guys think? So again, vocabulary. Bored, what does bored mean? And what does angry mean? So I think a lot of my English language learners sometimes use the word I'm bored or I'm boring, right? But they use the word sometimes incorrectly, just the meaning, but also sometimes grammatically. But if you're bored, it just means like you feel like, excuse me, like you have nothing to do. Like, oh, I'm bored. I don't feel like I have a kind of purpose right now, right? I'm bored. That's what that means. Okay, and then angry. I'm mad, right? So understand the difference too with British English. I think they use the word mad to mean crazy. I don't know if they use it to mean angry in some situations, but in American English, if you say I'm mad, that means I'm angry, right? We don't say I'm mad for I'm crazy. We say I'm crazy, right? If I feel crazy or someone is crazy or that's crazy or this is crazy, right? We don't say that's mad. In American English, we don't say that. If I say I'm mad, I'm angry. Okay? So in this sentence, this example, do you think Kristen is bored or angry? Okay, so you want to learn English? Nice. Okay, so again, the sentence was Kristen's whole body was shaking. And her voice grew louder with every word. Do you think she's bored or angry? Right, so she is indeed angry. She's shaking and her voice is getting louder and louder. That's not bored. That's a lot of energy. Okay, so she is indeed angry. All right, how about the next one? Read the sentence. Trying not to bring attention to himself, Jamie glanced quickly around the room for an empty seat. So what might we already know about Jamie? What can we already know or infer about Jamie just from reading that? Trying not to bring attention to himself, right? Jamie glanced quickly around the room for an empty seat. So based on this sentence, how is Jamie probably feeling? Smug or shy? Let's see. Testing your level in a language can discourage you if you don't get everything right. So that is why I avoid to test my level. I continue to learn without worrying forgetting what I have learned. Yeah. No, I mean, if you guys know me and follow my group too, the English group on Facebook, English with Teacher Tricia, you already know that, yeah, I encourage students to acquire a language instead of always being so focused on like book learning, you know? Because yeah, it can be overwhelming, especially if you're not like immersed in the culture or country, right? Where the language is spoken that you're learning. But yeah, I think a laid back version, as we say in the United States, um, I think that helps a lot. It depends. It depends on your goal and your purpose for learning, of course, too, though. If you need to know it and do well, um, then of course I would use a different strategy. But yeah, I think learning or acquiring should be fun, right? Yeah, because if we stress about stuff, then I think it's easier for us to forget, and we're not having fun too, right? It's no good for our body or our mind, right? If we're stressed. But okay, again, one more time. So read the sentence. Trying not to bring attention to himself, Jamie glanced quickly around the room for an empty seat. Okay, so two clues there. We can infer from two things, right? So trying not to bring attention to himself. He doesn't want attention. He doesn't want people noticing him or looking at him. Okay. Then also he glanced quickly, and glance, right? He doesn't look. He doesn't stare. He glances. Glances means like a quick look, basically, right? But also he glanced quickly. Okay. So do you think he would be smug or shy? So we can guess shy for sure, right? He's shy. He doesn't want the attention. He's quickly trying to get to his seat. So he's shy. Were you guys shy when you were younger or not? Yeah, angry was for the other one, yeah. Again, is it like that delayed? Is the responses that delayed? I don't know. That's interesting. Okay. All right, what's next? Next one. When the lunch bell rang, Kimmy approached the new girl. Would you like to sit with us? She asked. Hmm. Okay. So based on these sentences, what is Kimmy probably like? Do you think she's friendly or easily fooled? Hmm. When the lunch bell rang, Kimmy approached the new girl. Would you like to sit with us? She asked. So what do you think? Do you think she's friendly or easily fooled? So what is she asking? She's saying, come join us, right? Would you like to sit with us? Come on, come join us, right? So she indeed would be friendly, right? It's very friendly. Ah, okay, Rita, you got shy. Nice job. Yep. Yeah, so like it is very delayed then. Well, it's good to know that. Okay, yes. Friendly. That's how I met like my best friend. Because I asked her to sit with us at lunch in high school because she was new and she sat behind me in class. And so she had just come in or whatever, and I turned around because we had lunch right after that class. So I was like, hey, do you want to sit with us for lunch? She was like, yes, thank you. Because, yeah, like when you're younger, you care about that stuff. Like, who cares? I mean, it's nice to be with people, of course, but like, I wonder if every culture is like that. I mean, I think as young people, maybe, yeah, you do care more and too much about that stuff. But let me know if it's the same in every culture. Well, yeah, I don't know. Are children mature enough to be friendly and welcoming in other cultures? Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe it depends. But because of course, my experience outside of the United States, people in general are more welcoming. But I don't have, I wasn't a child, and I don't have that kind of experience as a child dealing with other children. Um, but my guess would be that they're more welcoming than perhaps in the United States. That's just my experience. Okay, read the sentence. Ms. Gilmore gasped and took a step back, her hand at her throat. Jeez. I might take two different kind of inferences from that, right? But let's see. Based on this sentence, how is Ms. Gilmore probably feeling? Surprised or hopeless? Here's another good lesson too. So this is Ms. Gilmore. So it's spelled with MS period. It doesn't mean Mrs. and it's not Miss. This is Ms. Even though it's an S, it sounds like a Z. Ms. It means we don't know if she's married or single, which is none of your business, right? So, right? Just like for men, they have Mr. So you don't know if he's married or not. So this is a nice way for women to be like, it's none of your business, or just the preference is to not tell people, or so yeah, Ms. Miss would be MISS. That means she's single. Mrs. MRS period would mean that she's married. So in this context, not that it matters, but we don't know if she's married or single. Which again, it's nice to have that equality, because men just has Mr., right? They just have Mr. Okay, so one more time. Ms. Gilmore gasped and took a step back, her hand at her throat. Maybe here would, for me, would infer something else, like she's sick or something, or choking. Maybe here, I don't know. Maybe some people do. I don't know. It's weird though. But yeah, I would say like here. So gasped, took a step back, hand here. So would that be surprised or hopeless? Yeah. Yeah, I know it's delayed. I didn't know it was like such a long delay. Yeah, I mean, every platform has a delay, but I wonder if they're all the same or not. If they all have the same seconds or minutes of delay. But anyway, so is she surprised or hopeless? So what does hopeless mean? Not hopeful, but hopeless, right? Hopeless. She has no hope, right? So is she surprised or has no hope? Excuse me. She is indeed surprised, right? The gasp really gives the great clue, right? And took a step back. And just in general, like, put your hand like here is like a surprise thing. Yeah. Again, that may be cultural, who knows, but that's something to really be aware of as a teacher. And that's why, like, I don't like grades, because working with students from all over the world, it's like, yeah, maybe that is right in their culture, So if, especially with questions where they have like multiple choice answers, and some of the answers are like so close, I'm just like, I'm not gonna mark it wrong. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be some flexibility, Telling myself I'm shy enforces the belief. As a result, I become more and more shy. I realized that it's not a helpful strategy. You are not what you think you are, but you are what you think. Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. What do they say? Fake it till you make it. Right? Yeah, be what you think you are, be what you want to be, and you will be that, right? Our minds are very powerful. Okay, what about the next one? me get a little comfortable here. Read the sentences. Tanner felt his chest swell. Yes, that one's mine, he said. Based on these sentences, how is Tanner probably feeling? Do you think he feels uncertain? Or do you think he feels proud? Tanner felt his chest swell. We have a saying in English, you know, like to swell with pride. And if you think about swelling, I mean, swelling is usually, it usually has like a negative connotation, right? That like if you hit your hand on something, it can swell up. But that's a bit negative, right? Or it is negative. But if your chest swells, it's like, yes. And he said, yes, that one's mine. So we can tell that he's proud. He's not uncertain. He's not like, oh, I don't know. Right? He is proud. And that word is interesting. I think some people take that word as a negative thing sometimes. And it depends. Yeah, we definitely do have both in American English. Like, don't be so proud, like, right? Or like, no, you should be proud of that. So yeah, it can be used in both contexts. So you have to really understand the vocabulary and the context, right? Okay, read the sentence. Billy tilted his head. That's a good vocabulary word. Billy tilted. To tilt means to kind of askew it. Billy tilted his head as he gazed at the document, walking forward to examine it more closely. So based on this sentence, how is Billy probably feeling? Do you think he's feeling curious or anxious? Yeah, Ms. Gilmore is surprised. Nice job. And yeah, it's a capital M, like big M, small s, period. That's how we write it. Yeah, the context is always the key. It gives so much information, right? And that's what this lesson is all about, or this quiz is all about, right? Is making inferences to infer something from the information that we're given, right? To make an educated guess. Hello from Brazil. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. We're doing English tonight. So what do you guys think? Billy tilted his head as he gazed at the document, walking forward to examine it more closely. He wanted to look at it more. So do you think he's curious or anxious? So let's see, the two words, what do they mean, right? So curious means like, I'd like to know more about that. I have more questions, right? Something like that. Anxious would be like, oh, I'm very uncertain. I'm a little bit scared or unsure, right? So what kind of clues did we get for us to choose the best answer? So it's funny, tilt our head. Humans definitely, we do tilt our heads too. But it's funny, you know, you see all those like videos with dogs. They hear something and then the dog is like, right, so that's one clue. Walking forward, examine it more closely, right? Those are all context clues and helps me understand whether he's curious or anxious. Right, he is indeed curious. Yeah, you got it. What did you say, Ismail? Anxious leaves you with feeling, leaves you maybe? Anxious, like anxiety leaves you with feeling no trust. That's interesting. That's an interesting phrase you said there. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it is curious. Right. Anxiety, if they were anxious, um, there would be some kind of clue that they were worrying or uncertain, right? But just tilting their head, continuing to walk forward, to continue to move forward. Like if someone was anxious, they wouldn't move forward. They'd be probably stuck, right? Or scared, or some kind of talk about worry there, yeah. But they still want to examine it further, so they're curious. They want to learn more, right? All right, great job, you guys. All right, read the sentences. With a pinched face, Maddie took the light bulb from her brother's hands. Here, she barked. Oh, okay. Well, now I have a clue on how to say it more dramatically. Okay, so let me start again. With a pinched face, Maddie took the light bulb from her brother's hands. Here, she barked. Just let me do it. Right? So, from that sentence, can we infer that Maddie is feeling proud or irritated? Yeah, I love to work with children and, doing English, and we can dramatize it, right? So these words give us such great clues, right? She barked. Like, what? Oh, right? So then when the students understand the vocabulary and the sentences, right, and the context, they can put that drama and they have so much fun with it then, it's cute. With a pinched face. However that looks, right? Pinched. Maddie took the light bulb from her brother's hands. Here, she barked. Just let me do it. So proud or irritated? Right, it is irritated. Right, she lost her patience with her brother. Oh, which one? I can't go back and look at that one about Billy. I can't go back. Yeah, I can't go back, but that's okay. Yeah, so Maddie's definitely irritated. She's like, I've had it with you. You taking too long. Right, which is okay, but it's like sometimes you're just irritated, right? Or maybe she was already irritated by him doing something else, or maybe she's having a bad day already, right? You never know what's going on with people. So it's so good to communicate then, right? Are you okay? What happened today? Do you want to talk about it? Yeah, kids. I know, but it's still important to even like to not have that kind of energy with kids, right? Like I mean, like it's gonna be normal and natural for everyone to be irritated at some point, right? But to be able to talk about it and be like, like I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to say it that way or do that, but like, do you know what I mean? Like there is a healthy way to talk to anyone, right? And be like, okay, I'm in a hurry. I'm gonna do it, and we can talk about this later, or like, that would be more, yeah, respectful. So then, if you're barking or like yelling at a child or anyone, they're gonna not feel good. I mean, they might start crying, right? Um, so yeah, but it's inevitable for us all to be irritated at some point. The way you described it, it's like more kids' way. Yeah, I mean, like it said, like they're brothers. So yeah, maybe you envision she's older, he's younger, and she like lost her patience with him or something. Yeah, but even as a child, right, we can teach them how to talk to one another, right, and us. I really try to talk to my students about that because it's just so important. The energy you bring to people, right? So important to communicate. But the problem is, some people are not even connected to what they're actually feeling or what's going on with them or inside their mind or heart, right? So, first, you have to make the connection to yourself, right? And then you have to be able to communicate it to others. Like, it's a journey for sure. Okay, next one. Read the sentence. When Derek didn't return any of the books he borrowed, Sanjay said to himself, but I'm sure he just forgot. Okay, so now this one we have three choices. So based on this sentence, what is Sanjay probably like? Do you think he's trusting? Do you think he's rude? Do you think he's spoiled? The word spoiled, I've heard it used in different ways in different cultures. Like different than like we would use it, the meaning in the United States, but Maddie was irritated for sure. You heard what in the video? What is the word brutal? Yeah, that's a strong word. Excuse me. I would say they use that in war a lot, or just yeah, something very like strongly violent, you know. Or yeah, sometimes it can be used in slang, like oh that was brutal, like harsh. Oh, that was bad, like that was brutal. That was brutal, bro. Right. Spoiled is used in bad context. Yeah. So there are two different ways in American English. So one way is in the context of food, right? Food going bad. Oh, the milk is spoiled. Don't drink that, right? But if you say it to like a child or your child or you know whoever, if you say like, "Ah, what are you spoiled? You're acting like you're spoiled." It means in American English and our culture, it means like, oh, you just get everything you want. You have every toy and yeah, like so it's in both ways. It's a negative context. But I've heard it different in different cultures in different contexts, but that's how we use it in American English. So do you think Sanjay is trusting, rude, or spoiled? So one more time. When Derek didn't return any of the books he borrowed, Sanjay said to himself, but I'm sure he just forgot. I'm sure he just forgot. Right? Now I'm really enunciating the word didn't because I know if I say it quickly, you might not hear the difference, right? But let me say it the way that I would say it if I'm speaking to someone or I'm reading it to other native speakers, right? When Derek didn't return any of the books he borrowed, Sanjay said to himself, but I'm sure he just forgot, right? So sometimes if I don't enunciate these contractions, right? So did not equals didn't, right? Sometimes if we don't enunciate those, you can't hear the difference. Here's one that native speakers we really still enunciate sometimes so we can hear the difference, right? Can't and can. They're a bit too close sometimes when we talk quickly, right? So sometimes we really have to enunciate. But usually didn't still can be heard, but it's for English language learners, I think it's important to enunciate that. When Derek didn't return any of the books he borrowed, Sanjay said to himself, well, I'm sure he just forgot. When Derek didn't return any of the books he borrowed, Sanjay said to himself, but I'm sure he just forgot. Yes, you guys got it. He is trusting. Like, I'm sure, oh, he just forgot. He just Just. We use that word a lot in American English, right? Oh, he's just doing something. He's just. Yeah, like it's like no problem. You just forgot. No worries. So we would say, yes, he's trusting. No worries, no problem. He probably just forgot. All right, read the sentences. Mia had spent the morning pacing the room, stopping only occasionally to chew at a fingernail. Mm. When the doorbell rang, she nearly jumped out of her seat. Oh, what'd you say? It's not like giving a good cause. Mm, like giving them a chance, or we would say giving them the benefit of the doubt, right? Yeah, for sure. Listening and speaking are so important. Okay, so what do you think? Is Mia probably feeling relieved, angry, or anxious? What do you guys think? One more time. Mia had spent the morning pacing the room. What does pacing mean? Let me tell you, somebody in my family used to pace a lot when we were younger. I'd be like, go sit your butt down. So that's one huge clue, right? Pacing generally means some kind of feeling, generally, right? Stopping only occasionally to chew at a fingernail. Not only are they pacing, they're chewing their fingernail. When the doorbell rang, she nearly jumped out of her seat. Okay, huge clues. So I always tell my young students, like, please read it again. There are so many clues, right? If you don't understand, that means maybe your vocabulary needs to improve, right? You need more vocabulary practice. So do you know what these words mean, right? That's what I would ask them, right? Even when you get older too, and you go to university, man, some articles are so advanced with their vocabulary. I even had to, of course, like look up what does that word mean, right? Like these are not words used in regular life, not even like newspaper, like average English. This is very advanced, like to the point of like scientific, or specific terminology within a field. So yeah, if you don't understand something, probably you just don't have enough vocabulary. Right? You need to practice the vocabulary. But so yeah, do you think Mia is relieved, angry, or anxious? Right? Which one do you think? Pacing the room, chewing at their fingernail. They nearly jumped out of their seat. She is all over the place, as we would say. She's a hot mess, as we would say. She is indeed anxious. You got it. Do you like my acting out too? Does that help? For many years, I also taught in an arts program, so I was doing a lot of like drama games, teaching songs, doing poetry, writing poetry. So, yeah, I deeply believe in the arts helping to, connect yourself, your mind, your body, your spirit into what you're learning. Yes, Mia is anxious. Nice job. Or stressed out, nervous. Yeah, you explained it in a good way. Nice. Yeah, great synonyms, you guys. All right, next one. Read the sentence. Maybe next time, Mandy said with a sigh. Oh, with a sigh. Wait. Let's do that again. Maybe next time, Mandy said with a sigh, placing her head in her hands. Oh, okay, one more time. Maybe next time, Mandy said with a sigh, placing her head in her hands. Maybe next time. Do you think she's disappointed, amused, afraid? What if I don't X it out? Do you guys know these words? Disappointed, amused, afraid. So the first two you probably won't hear as often. We say afraid a lot though. Okay, Ismail said disappointed. Okay, so what makes you think disappointed? And Rita said disappointed. So what makes you think that? What are the context clues? What tells you that? Indirectly, right? I'll read it again. So maybe next time, Mandy sighed, or Mandy said with a sigh, placing her head in her hands. So which words would tell us that? Just a guess? So maybe next time kind of implies some negativity there, right? Then we're given more information. Mandy said it with a sigh. If you know what sigh means. Right? So again, like not happy or at least not energetic. And then more information. Placing her head in her hands. Okay. So yeah, disappointed, amused, and afraid. So we know that amused means like ha 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 jokey jokey. So that doesn't fit, right? Afraid means like scared, right? And there's nothing that would tell us that she's scared. So yeah, disappointed would be the best choice. For some reason, she's disappointed, right? Maybe next time. Right. Yes, disappointed. For me, I'm going with the chances I have. So amused is not, right? But afraid, not that way. But disappointed, yeah, it's the same. Yeah, so it's the best choice. That's how she acts, yeah. Great job. Okay, read the sentences. Brandon knew not everyone had gotten a chance to have a cookie yet, but he went ahead and took a second one anyway. He was hungry. Based on these sentences, what is Brandon probably like? Well, we wouldn't want to judge him just on one action, but since it's just a little quiz. So, do you think he's easily fooled, thoughtful, or greedy? What do you guys think? Now, if you choose one, tell me why you think that, right? So this would be the next level, being able to explain why you chose something, right? Rita said I would do this. No, this could be very cultural too. Maybe. Maybe it depends on where you're at too, though, right? If you're at home with friends, at a party. Let me read it again. So Brandon knew not everyone had gotten a chance to have a cookie yet, but he went ahead and took a second one anyway. He was hungry. So based on these sentences, what is Brandon probably like? Do you think he's easily fooled, thoughtful, or greedy? Again, not really fair to judge him based on one action, but what would fit best and why? If you choose an answer, tell me why. What made you think that from the sentences? Okay, so I'm hearing two different answers. Let's see. So you said thoughtful, and then it's the first one, which is easily fooled. He was hungry, but can you explain the second one? Interesting. What do you think? Do you think it's easily fooled, thoughtful, or greedy? Okay, so let's break down what they each mean, okay? So, easily fooled means like, gotcha, right? Like somebody tricked them. So, what what would make us think that that would be the correct answer? Do we have any evidence in the sentences that somebody tricked him? I'm not getting that, right? I'm not getting that he was fooled. We don't have information that he was fooled, right? Nobody tricked him. What about thoughtful? So what makes you think that he was thoughtful? Thoughtful means like, oh, I'm gonna think about other people, right? I'm gonna think about their feelings and maybe I want them to be happy too, right? Or first or whatever, right? So, but do you think he's being thoughtful? I'll read it again. Brandon knew not everyone had gotten a chance to have a cookie yet. So do you understand that part? Not everyone has a cookie yet. So he went ahead, but he went ahead and took a second cookie anyway. He was hungry. So it depends on your culture maybe, but that could be very rude in many cultures, right? Make sure everyone has a cookie first, then you can take one. Of course, there are some exceptions, right? Like maybe if you're a child or whatever. It depends on the situation. But in general, greedy would actually be the best choice. Yeah, greedy. What does greedy mean? It means like just to think about yourself, take, 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 and not give, right? So it's like he's taking too much and he's not thinking about other people, right? If he was thoughtful, the sentence would have changed a bit like, instead of taking a cookie, right, he waited till everyone had one first, right? You know what I mean? He didn't care about it. Yeah, we can infer that, right? Yeah. Okay, let's do the next one. Read the sentence. Mackenzie wiped her sweaty palms on her jeans before sitting down. Based on this sentence, how is Mackenzie probably feeling? Do you think she's feeling nervous, angry, or lonely? Excuse me. What are sweaty palms? That would be an important thing to know. You might already know jeans, right? The like pants. Or in some cultures and languages, they say trousers. I mean, we know it in American English, but we say pants. Um, but it seems like a very British or formal word for us. But yes, Mackenzie wiped her sweaty palms. What are sweaty palms? What's a palm? Not a palm tree, but what's your palm? So she wiped her sweaty palms on her jeans before sitting down. So if you understand what sweaty palms are, then you can guess, okay, was she nervous, angry, or lonely? Yeah, I saw that before you redacted it there, or retracted it. Yes, this is your palm here. This is your palm. So they were sweaty, sweaty palms. So what might we infer from that? Not everyone or every time this happens too, but like normally, like on average, you could be what? Nervous, angry, or lonely if you have sweaty palms. Yep, you got it. Nervous. Sometimes we tend to sweat more if we're nervous, right? Angry wouldn't make sense. There's nothing to infer about being angry. Lonely. No, the sweating part helps us understand that nervous is the best choice. Yep. Nervous, anxious would be another synonym. Stressed. Yep. Do you guys ever get like that? Like maybe before you have to make a speech? Are you guys forced in Morocco to make speeches in classes, or at least my experience in university, we were forced, we had to take a speech class, even a whole speech class. So the whole class was about making speeches. Yeah, you are, Ismail. Yeah, it's crazy. And then it depends on the school, really, university and below. Kind of depends sometimes. I mean, even almost every class in university, you would have to make speeches. But it depends. Some teachers would just be like, okay, do a project, right? Or write a paper. So it just kind of depends. Okay, what about the next one? Read the sentences. When Preston dropped the glue gun, Sean leaped out of his chair. Can't you watch what you're doing? He said. Based on these sentences, how is Sean probably feeling? Hopeless? Crabby? Uncertain? Hmm. Now, this one, I don't know if I want to slow down saying that. I don't know if I can say that on. I tried to say it a bit quickly. I know some of these platforms don't like that word, but um, they're using like a crafty device um, that can be dangerous, especially for children. It's very hot, and this again might be very cultural. We have it a lot in the United States for making crafts, like just making things for with children and stuff like that. And some, like older women do it too. Um, so it's a little bit of a little bit of a dangerous situation, or just be like, watch yourself, watch what you're doing. So when Preston dropped the dangerous device, Sean leaped out of his chair. Dang, he didn't jump, he leaped. Can't you watch what you're doing? He said. So do you think he's feeling hopeless, crabby, or uncertain? Do you know what crabby means? I wonder if it's a very American word. It's like irritated. So hopeless, crabby, uncertain. I think about Krabby Patties. Krabby Patties. You're right. Yeah. He's a bit irritated, but at the same time, like, I get why he wouldn't like that, right? Because it's a little bit dangerous, right? It's not horribly dangerous, but like it could burn you a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. Okay, how many do we have? Oh, I don't know if will it tell me? It's okay. How long? Oh, it's been an hour already. Dang, you guys. Okay. Krabby Patties. Okay, read the sentences. The first thing Johnny did in his new room was hang his clothes in the closet. He arranged them painstakingly by color. There's a very big clue word. Now that's a word that maybe some of you have not heard before. Painstakingly. All right, so based on these sentences, what is Johnny probably like? Do you think he's caring, smart, or organized? What would be the best choice? So the first thing Johnny did in his new room was hang his clothes in the closet. He arranged them painstakingly by color. Okay, so a lot of clue words there, right? That I'm trying to emphasize too. So caring, yeah, but is there a better choice? Like, what makes us think that? Is there a better choice? Smart? Maybe, but there's nothing specific that tells us that, right? Or organized. Right. Yeah, it is organized. Yeah, because he arranged them, and not only just he arranged them painstakingly. Right? That means he took a lot of time and detail. Yeah, very organized for sure. Nice job. Okay, read the sentence. Addison hummed a tune to herself as she skipped down the sidewalk. Based on this sentence, how is Addison probably feeling? Angry, shy, or pleased? I feel like this one you all should probably get. If you know the word hummed, right? And so I did do that at the end there. Addison hummed a tune to herself as she skipped, right? Skipped down the sidewalk. So do you think she's angry, shy, or pleased? Yeah, she is pleased. She's happy. She's feeling good. When's the last time you hummed and skipped? Tell me. Go and do it right now. Go outside, skip around, and hum. Just kidding, it's late. You could do it around your house, though. You said today? Show me a video or you're lying. Okay, read the sentences. Omar chewed on his bottom lip and tilted his head to one side. Could you explain that again? He asked. Okay. Based on these sentences, how is Omar probably feeling? Amused, sad, or confused? What did you say? I don't understand what that says. W it? Because this is me when I feel good. Y'all are just out there skipping every day, humming. I want some video footage. I don't be seeing adults do that anywhere. No, sometimes. Sometimes. Especially on video, like especially like for videos. But like sometimes. What do you think? Amused, sad, or confused? though. I'm not sure who are you? Did you have a different name? I don't remember that name. Okay, so it's Omar chewed on his bottom lip. His bottom lip. And tilted his head. There's that word again, tilted, right? Tilted his head to one side. Could you explain that again? He asked. So what do you think? Is he amused, sad, or confused? What do you think? We're doing some English. It's an English quiz if you want to join. Oh, okay. You don't use your real name. Oh, okay. Who are you? All right. You said confused, confused. It's been a year. Okay, you don't have to tell me more than that. Years? You again, you'd have to tell me more than that. It is confused, you guys. Good job. All right, next one. Read the sentence. Duncan cradled the injured bird carefully in his cupped hand. Hmm. Okay, so cradled, right? You think of like a child's cradle, maybe. Injured, right? The bird is having some health problems, right? And cupped hand. So Duncan cradled the injured bird carefully in his cupped hand. All right, so do you think Duncan is probably kind, imaginative, or tough? Kind, imaginative, or tough? Okay. I'll know you when I check your page. I don't know if I can check it afterwards. My comments have not been showing after the live, so I don't know if I can see you later. Um, yeah, I don't know. You could also just tell me your first name. He is very kind. Kind. Yes, you got it. Okay, now entering the challenge zone. What? Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, a yeah, I might not be able to check your page later. So if you wanted to identify yourself in some way, tell me where I met you or your first name or otherwise I don't know if I'll be able to check it later. Antonio? What do you say? 1K plus? But yeah, I think we were friends on Facebook, right? But like your Facebook got, was that you? Okay. I forget what you went by on Facebook too. Was it Antonio? I thought it was Anthony, no? Yeah, I think I remember that, yeah. Well, nice to see you. Okay, let's do the challenge zone. So read the sentences. Chandler peered over Heather's shoulder as she wrote the note. He just wanted to see what she was saying. Okay, so based on these sentences, what is Chandler probably like? Do you think there's four choices? Do you think he's timid, organized, fun-loving, or nosy? Anthony's my uncle? Wait a minute now. I don't get it. I got a new Facebook. It's all linked on my page. I don't understand. I thought it was Anthony though. Weren't you doing like t-shirts and hats and traveling? I thought that was Anthony though. Never? Oh, wait, who's Antonio? Take your time, Antonio. Y'all are cracking me up. Antonio who? Are you my age? Are you like one of my previous students? But Facebook, y'all, I'm getting the quiz right here. Skater, guy, dancer. What? Girl, I have no idea. Okay. No idea. But again, my age or one of my previous like students? Yeah, unfortunately, Ismail, I don't get a lot of messages. Unfortunately or fortunately. You know. I don't know, y'all. But okay, what do you guys think? Timid, organized, fun-loving, nosy. But hi. Yeah, today is like an English lesson, which is a little bit different. Normally we'll do like deep topics or learning Amazigh. So if you don't know, I'm not sure who you are, but I'm in Morocco. I've been in Morocco for a little while. Not a student. Your age. Well, that's a secret. Okay. Chandler peered over Heather's shoulder as she wrote the note. He just wanted to see what she was saying. So is he timid, organized, fun-loving, or nosy? I don't know. If you met me in real life, you might be, I don't know. You might not be a real person. That's pretty young. I feel like then you would have been one of my students or something. I don't know. Yo no sé. Because that's like nephew age, you know? Okay, Rita said, don't know. So timid means like, we already had some of that, right? Timid means like shy. Organized, we already had that one. Remember, arranging. Fun loving, like happy, good times. Nosy. Nosy is like, what you doing over there? What y'all doing? Mm. So again, Chandler peered over Heather's shoulder. A little bit creepy there, right? If you can imagine that. As she wrote the note. He just wanted to see what she was saying. Hmm. What the? I'm not sure. Fun loving. A while ago. Sounds like a while ago. You said detain? The rock? I'm not sure what you said. Fun loving. So you said timid, fun loving. Hmm. That's interesting. So maybe you guys aren't understanding like the peered, right? Like Chandler peered over Heather's shoulder. A little bit creepy. She was writing no. Why does he have to like look, right? So he is in fact nosy, right? He wants to know your business. but it's none of your business, right? But yeah, he is nosy. So what tells me that is he's peering over somebody's shoulder as they're writing the note, right? So nosy, 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 nosy. Like 3 years ago. So I've been in Morocco like almost 2.5 years now. So like before I left, I don't know. I got a big nose. Got a big nose. Nosy. Nosy. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know the etymology of that. But I think like the stereotypical thing is like, you know, normally we have like houses next to each other in America, and like if you have blinds, like curtains, blinds, you can like pull down the blind and like look at your neighbors, like, what are they doing over there? Hey, look at what Tanya's doing over there. Right? Like we would say that's being nosy, right? You can argue whether that's good or bad, you know? I don't know. Um, I think it's good to be like socially aware and spatially aware of your surroundings. But sometimes, yeah, you can be too much, right? Nosy. So there's a new word for you if you didn't know that. Okay, read the sentence. Wanda turned down the invitation to the holiday party so that she could stay home with her French vocabulary flashcards. Okay, very specific. One more time. Wanda turned down the invitation to the holiday party so that she could stay home with her French vocabulary flashcards. It's very specific. Okay, based on this sentence, what is Wanda probably like? Fun loving, energetic, friendly, or studious? It's funny, like you said, you know a lot of people like that. I mean, like, man, I don't know. I grew up in a rural area, so like we always knew everybody, you know. It's a small community, right? But yeah, sometimes it's too much. Like, don't be all up in somebody's business, you know. If that's what you're talking about. Or are you talking about the party? Like staying home from the party? So Wanda turned down. She said, no, thank you. Well, or in Morocco, people might say, inshallah, but they mean no. Okay, Wanda turned down the invitation to the holiday party so that she could stay home with her French vocabulary flashcards. So is she fun loving, energetic, friendly, or studious? I don't know if Antonio's still here, but that was funny. Like, I'm like, I don't know. Is that. Now I'm thinking that that's just somebody trolling. You know how sometimes people do that? They're like, oh, yeah, hey, long time. I'm like, I don't even know you. It could be true, though. They did say the city. They did say the city. Although you could find that information on, yeah. I don't know. They could have found that information on, it's online, but. Antonio, unless it was at the protest? Was it at the protest? That was more than 3 years ago, I think. So you said fun living? She just wants to study? Yeah, that's right. She just wants to study. So which word, right? So fun-loving, energetic, friendly, studious. Right, Jawad, you got it. Yeah, it is studious. So if you can kind of guess, just like you guys helped me with Amazigh, with some of those roots, right? Um, so you said they just want to study, right? So the pronunciation is a little bit different, right? Study, studious, but it has that root of like stud, right? So yes, studious. So that would be the adjective to describe someone who likes to stay home and study or just likes to study in general. They go to the library all the time or they stay home and study or they're always reading. They're very studious. Wow. Oh, you get good grades? Oh, you're studious, right? Yeah, I like that word a lot. Okay, next one. Polly wrinkled her nose and looked away. Hmm. So, based on this sentence, how is Polly probably feeling? Excited? Surprised? Disgusted? Lonely? Polly wrinkled her nose and looked away. Do you think she's feeling excited? Surprised? Disgusted? Lonely? So, wrinkled her nose and looked away. Why might you wrinkle your nose? Anybody? So excited means a lot of energy. Surprised is like, we had that one right. Disgusted, gross, ew. Or lonely, like feeling like, yeah, alone, like without people. So Polly wrinkled her nose and looked away. Lord have mercy. Yeah, disgusted. She smelled something bad. Yeah, yeah. Something was disgusting. Yeah. So we don't know what was disgusting or why she was disgusted. She could have smelled something bad. She could have seen something like that she didn't like. But yeah, oftentimes when something is like disgusting, we think of like something maybe smelling bad or yeah, looking bad. Stay hydrated, drink your water. She showed by her face. Yeah, she showed her emotions or her feeling with her face. Yeah. Nice job. Disgusted. It can be a pretty strong word, right? That's disgusting. Like, oh. Mm. Like in American culture, like if you see somebody picking their nose, we might say that's disgusting because that's not part of our culture. I know outside of the United States, in many countries, it's just normal. And I mean, like we all do it in our house, right? Like let's say like 99.99%. Unless you just got a problem with your nose, but is a smelly word? But you can find like you can see stuff that looks disgusting too, right? That smells disgusting, that looks disgusting, right? that is disgusting. You're disgusting. Right? Yeah, it's not only about smell. Yeah. Okay, next one. I'm sure that the salesperson was telling the truth about the car, Brendan said to himself. Why would she lie? Based on these sentences, what is Brendan probably like? Nosy, independent, energetic, easily fooled. So 4 choices: nosy, independent, energetic, easily fooled. Oh, did I miss a message from you, Rita? What do you guys think? I'm sure I'm sure that salesperson was telling the truth about the car, Brennan said to himself. Why would she lie? So it sounds like maybe his intuition is telling him something, no? What do you guys think? I'm sure that salesperson was telling the truth about the car, Brendan said to himself. Why would she lie? Okay, do you think he's nosy, independent, energetic, easily fooled? It's your best guess. What would you infer? This one might be a bit hard. The third one, energetic. Like having a lot of energy. Right? So energetic. So there's nothing in there that would tell us that he's energetic. Right? What about nosy? Is he in other people's business or no? No, there's nothing that would tell us that he's like trying to be in other people's business, right? What about independent? What does that mean, independent? Independent is like by yourself, doing things by yourself. So I mean, maybe he was by himself, but there's nothing in there that would like tell us. There's no clues in the sentences, right, about being independent. So the last one, easily fooled. Yeah, it is the last one, easily fooled. It's a little bit hard because there's nothing that like really directly says that he was fooled, but he is questioning something, right? So that would help us infer that maybe he was fooled by the salesperson about the car, right? I would call that intuition, right? Intuition. I'm sure that salesperson, like he's trying to reassure himself. Well, I'm sure, right? I'm sure that salesperson was telling the truth about the car, Brennan said to himself. Why would she lie? So he's really thinking about it, right? So yes, easily fooled. Unfortunately, but that's him being like optimistic and like trusting, which there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes there are scammy people, right? So you have to protect yourself, take care of yourself. Yeah, you should understand the sentence very clearly. Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, that one was a little tricky because you really have to kind of understand maybe the intuition too, right? That some people will say that to themselves, right? And try to reassure themselves, right? Okay, next one. The zookeeper asked if anyone would like the chance to pet the tree snake. Aaron was the only one who did. So, based on these sentences, what is Aaron probably like? Do you think he's bold, caring, hardworking, or loyal? What do you guys think? Do you know all of those words? The zookeeper asked if anyone would like the chance to pet the tree snake. The tree snake. Do you guys like snakes? Aaron was the only one who did. So do you think Aaron is bold, caring, hardworking, loyal? So yes, Ismail, courageous. Yep, so you have the a bit of the root there, but courageous. He is courageous. So which word is a synonym for courageous? Crazy. Hey, 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 hey. Hmm. I see two there. I see bold and hardworking. Hmm. So what does bold mean? And what does hardworking mean? Let's see. Hardworking means like you have a good work ethic, right? Maybe you work long hours or like you're very efficient, you do a lot of work. Is that something we heard about with Aaron? Or is Aaron bold? Bold. Be bold. Be courageous, right? Yep. Yeah, it is bold. Be bold. Yep. I love that word actually. Yay! Wow. That's all. So, yeah, those were interesting. I think that was a great example of like short sentences where you still can infer things, right? But of course, being able to read like a whole excerpt, a whole paragraph, right? Or paragraphs, a whole story, and be able to infer something, that's next level for sure. But I wanted to get on here and talk about English and do some English stuff because I want to start my English group classes on Monday. So I'll post about that on my Facebook and you guys can join if you want to. It is paid lessons though, of course. Every Monday for 5 weeks, you can join. One day you can drop in, or you can join all 5 weeks. If you join all 5 weeks, you're able to join my private Facebook group and chat where we can talk every day for the amount of weeks, right, that I have the classes for the 5 weeks. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Um, I know maybe not everyone can join because it is obviously paid classes. And I know the economies of the world are very different, but it is half price for me, which is why I offered group sessions. So, I hope you guys are understanding about that. But yeah, that's why it's nice to be able to do some of these lives too and interact with you all for free as well, of course. But yeah, I thought I'd try English today. And depending on what happens, yeah, maybe we'll mix it up between English, Amazigh, deep topics, and whatever else. If I'm out and about in Morocco. Show you guys around, them out. But thanks, Rida. Yeah, I'll post it on my Facebook main profile, Tricia Truth again, as well as in my English group on Facebook, English with Teacher Tricia. And yeah, I'll put the details in there, how you can sign up. I'm curious too how it will work. Like, I've had some different students from different countries, but yeah, I'm curious to see how the system works. With credit cards and all that, like it's complicated systems and websites and all of that. But so far so good. But you can also go on my Instagram and click on book now. It's all connected to that. Maybe that's a bit easier for you guys, but you can see the 5 weeks. I don't have obviously my phone is in use, but I wonder if I can look at it on here. Let's see if I can look at it. You can't do it on the computer. Yeah. So anyways, but yeah, on Instagram, if you have Instagram, you go to my profile, you click on book now, and you can see the schedule there. But otherwise, I'll post it on Facebook as well, like I said. What is it? It's my first time, and I want to say that you are an amazing teacher. Oh, thank you, Ismail. Lessons every Monday. Yes, I say beginning to intermediate. Of course, it is limited to 10 students for now, and we'll see how it goes. I can always open up some more sessions as needed, but I'll definitely tailor it to whoever's there. If it's a bit more beginner, then I'll tailor it more to the beginning level. If it's more intermediate, then I'll do more intermediate stuff. But yeah, I have a lot of resources that I use for all levels. Obviously, if it's more advanced folks joining, I can do that as well. But Amazigh of the north of Morocco. Yeah, like Tarifit. Yeah, let me look at let me give you guys the time zones too. The seagulls. Go to sleep, seagulls. I didn't hear them right now playing soccer on my rooftop. There must be a nest up there or something, but anyways, it's so funny. If you guys came the other day, I was like, there are seagulls on my rooftop, man, because nobody lives above. Okay, so yes, every Monday for 5 weeks, it's gonna be 6 p.m. Moroccan time, okay, and that's 12 p.m. Central Time in America. Okay, but I'll type that all out, and if you go to Instagram and you click on book now, you can see it in your time zone, and there's no problem there. But yeah, on Facebook I'll put all the information too. Who's winning this? I don't know which seagull is winning up there, but okay, I will see all about that. Also, I'm proud that you like Amazigh and you're trying to learn. It's so big welcome for you in Amazigh land. 10 Merit Bahara. Yeah, I think it would be so helpful if Moroccans can come who also speak Amazigh, because then I have a bit of understanding. I'm not fluent at all, but I have a bit of understanding, right, of the language and culture. So yeah, it would be nice to have Moroccan students. But again, I understand the price is a bit different. But yeah, it's hard because yeah, in America, I mean, some of my classes, even the American companies that I work for, I make triple the amount of money or more right? And then if I do individual students, like one-on-one, I've done that with my business, right? Um, and that I do that less, and then the group ones are even less than that. So understand that I am doing it at a reduced price for me, but I understand that economies are different. So welcome, in any way that you want to join, obviously on my lives here on YouTube. Of course, subscribe, follow the English group, which, I try to post stuff, but it's just a lot of content, right? Like I'm in Amazigh, I'm traveling, it's a lot of stuff to post, which is why, of course, if I do get paid to do something, it really does help me as well be able to do more things. Obviously, will pay my rent too, right? But like I'd like to do more with my YouTube as well, get some more equipment, and maybe eventually, pay someone to help me in the future, but that's probably the far future. But in the meantime, yeah, I have a lot of goals and a lot of things, of course, on my schedule. So thank you guys for understanding, and welcome anywhere where you join. If you're on Instagram, it's the same name here, Tricia with the Truth. Facebook, I do have Tricia with the Truth, and that is also connected with my business, but I use that one less because I focus on the main profile, Tricia Truth again. But TikTok as well, Tricia with the Truth, and of course here on YouTube, Tricia with the Truth. So thank you guys so much for joining. I hope that you guys enjoyed the English. I thought it was a good balance of like kind of okay for kind of beginning, right? As far as like being able to explain some vocabulary, but also intermediate because some of the vocabulary was a little bit harder, right? It was a little bit advanced too, some of them. And just the ideas perhaps again might be a little cultural, or just the ideas could be a bit more advanced. So I thought it was nice, a nice mix up of like at least increasing your vocabulary a little bit. But for those of you who understood more, like getting the comprehension, being able to infer, and then tell me why, right? Being able to explain why is really key. But thank you guys so much. I hope you all have a great night. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Ismail. Thank you, Rida. See you next time. Inshallah, I go live every Wednesday and weekends. So, of course, Wednesday, usually in the evenings. But make sure you subscribe and click the bell so then you get notified, hopefully. And then weekends, it could be Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I'm not sure about this weekend yet. It's a bit up in the air with some friends and planning. So we'll see. You know how it is sometimes planning in Morocco. So inshallah, but I'll see you guys on the weekend, or I'll see you on Facebook, and I'll definitely post that tonight. Yes, so you guys have it. All right, Team and Siwing, good night. Thank you, thank you. Thanks, Jawad. Good night. Take care. Blessings, y'all. Bye.